the most influential decision or the most important decision I made was to be honest with myself and where I'm at. The most important thing might actually be acknowledging the evil in you. Even if you have no strength to fight that evil, you have to acknowledge that he's there watching you. Because in that moment, you might not stop. But the more you acknowledge him, in everything, every single small thing, everything will be shaped, because there's no way you'll boldly acknowledge him and boldly go against him every single time. It'll come to a point where the madness will become self-evident. Well, life growing up in Zimbabwe was pretty amazing. I mean, Africa is amazing, so it was a lot of experiences that I really treasure. But there was also some not so good things that just happened just because that's just how the cookie crumbled. And some of the things were more like maybe some things that are within my control that I decided to kind of let go. And as a young man in high school, I sort of started just to see kind of how it would sort of shape up my life. It was if I was to keep going down a certain path. So I started asking myself some questions about, faith and spirituality. Later on, when I came to Australia, I then got onto a different set of challenges. I mean, moving to Australia, different world altogether. I'd never been out of Africa. I was really young arriving here. So let's just say if you're young and there's not a whole bunch of accountability and, it's a blank check, you're so far from home, you really have to decide what kind of human being you're gonna be. And if you don't, life kind of forces you to. So I think that's what happened to me. Life just kind of forced me to really reflect on myself, and that's how I became. That's how I got to a position where I ended up managing to begin cultivating my own faith and seeking the Most High with fear and trembling. It was all fun and games. Nothing is serious when you're young. You just think, oh, well, we can do this, let's do that. But I watched a lot of people pay heavy prices for certain things. And it's a good thing that even though you kind of grow up being forced into faith and discovering who God is, even if you don't understand it then, you get to a point where that is a crucial thing to have in your foundation, because that is what you fall on when you fall. And I can't imagine someone who would fall without a foundation like that. Where exactly would you fall to, and how far would you fall? At a point in my life where I was contemplating deliberately looking away from God. And I'll explain this. I had so many disappointments in life and so much pain, like through growing up. And experiencing some adverse, like circumstances, it got me a bit disgruntled and didn't really feel like I not owed God anything, but I just felt like, what difference does it make? So I thought, all right, well, I'm gonna drop all this. I'm gonna deliberately make some new bad friends. And what happened then is that one night as I was asleep, a being appeared. Everything was dark, and it was a large, glowing being. Felt almost human. Only difference is this being had no end, and I was looking up. And it was saying a lot of things. It felt like millions of things. It just felt like a shower, a loud shower across my ears. All I could sense that is this being was beyond furious, and it was staring down at me, speaking these things. And I said in that moment, please allow me to just catch one thing. And the one thing I caught is that the things you are chasing are of no use to you. I sat up at night and I woke up and I opened my eyes and the vision continued and then faded away. I wasn't sure what had happened, but I had a very strong feeling that I just met my Creator. And from then onwards, I went through a path of disobedience. It's crazy, because you think if the Most High took some time personally away to come and attend to you personally, you would be transformed. But the human condition is really strange. So I went off on a wild path. There's never been a point in my life where I have completely forgotten who God is. Might have been rebellious, but I've never completely forgotten. I used to wear it's like a chain. It's like with like a pendant. It's like two crucifix glazed onto each other. And I used to wear that as a reminder to myself, that as a reminder to start searching, to start looking for a way to get back home. And I remember I used to like it because it used to have really sharp edges. So it was a constant reminder. It was always on my skin. It was, hey. But the thing is, it used to drop and break in half regularly. I used to wonder, why is this thing, it's two metal pieces. How hard is it for these guys to make it in a way that it just stays together? But after 3 times, when it broke and I put super glue on it, put it back on me because I just felt I needed that reminder. I realized that it was just man-made stuff. It wasn't reminding me of anything. I was using it to hide the shame. I was using it almost as at least I have this. But it wasn't real hope, because real hope is actually founded in real understanding. Everything in life, it happens in your mind. When you think of pain, some people feel a lot of pain from little, and some people feel less pain from more. And it's still the same mind. And I think what it showed me when I had that experience and still went my own way, it showed me that everyone is hopeless. It doesn't matter what you try to do, because the human condition is an indictment. If you don't study and meditate on His Word day and night, you're definitely studying something else. To be given the eyes to see truth is a blessing, because you can speak the truth to 1,000,000 people and only get 100 that see it. A lot will hear it, but actually seeing it and understanding that it is the only reality and acting based on that understanding, that doesn't happen naturally, that unless it's given to you. I mean, that's why people can go around and share and they think, oh, if I can just tell them about, God in this way, if I can try it this way, then they'll understand. No, maybe you have to sit back and really think about the condition of a person's heart, because that is the level, the understanding they'll receive. Because someone with a lot of pride is going to be harder to get through to. Not because what you're saying is not truth, not because you haven't said it the right way, but because the condition of their heart stops them from receiving understanding, because understanding comes from Him. It'll come to a point where the madness will become self-evident. And for me, that was a major turning point, being able to acknowledge my whole existence, to acknowledge Him in my whole existence. It doesn't matter what it is, the most embarrassing, the things that I think, oh, they're not even a big deal, but even those, they have to be, because they're still under the microscope. Your whole life is weighed in the balance, and there's no pockets of it that you can go, well, that area, well, I can sort of let it ride on. I fix everything else. But, and that's generally how we are. We go, well, I'll do this, but, it's just part of the journey, isn't it? But maybe it's not. Maybe the fact that you can see it, maybe all you have to do is acknowledge it every time and see if that problem sticks around. Just being able to understand. For me, if that's all I can have, then that is gold. So for me, music has actually helped me to stay away from a lot of, scenarios and places that I probably would have ended up if I had a lot more free time. So when I write, I spend a lot of time weighing every word in the balance. And in that process, a lot is actually revealed, and it becomes a form of meditation. Your understanding that has been, it's not your understanding, it's what has been revealed to you. You're able to use the gift that has been given to you because of the space you're in, because the gift you receive always has an audience. The audience is there before you even have the gift. So being able to actually translate that understanding through your gift is a miracle. He gives all gifts, and for one reason, because it pleases him. Now, I'd assume it pleases him when he sees what comes out of these gifts. So he probably doesn't want them to be idle. You know, you have a gift, you have to go all out and use it. It might touch one person, maybe 100, maybe 10,000, but everywhere it does something, it pleases him because that's what he gave it for. And when you do nothing with it, it probably displeases him. And you probably won't have that gift for much longer, or that gift might even destroy you. I mean, how many people get destroyed by their gifts? Because they're probably using them in a way that is displeasing to him. So it's either their life is cut short or some other crazy thing happens. Music is used by every human being on the planet. There's some things that are not used by every human being, but music is an essential for communication, for health, for upliftment, but also for evil. So as a musician, having the understanding of who the Creator is, it is absolutely imperative to use the right words in the right way for the right meaning, because the meaning is what is at stake. It could have been just something written down. It could have been the same thing written down, but because there's been that shared soul-to-soul exchange, that same thing is received more intimately. And it makes even some things that are hard to accept easier, because once you put a nice happy rhythm to something, it's like, maybe I can entertain that challenge a bit longer, because if it came in some other, less palatable kind of way, then you just maybe zone out. The words that you speak will either build or break down, will either be lies or truth, and there's nothing in between. I hope I find you in good stead, my friend. I truly hope I find you in good stead. I see the rising sun. I see the kingdom come. Am I the only one who can feel love? I know it's everyone who can break hate. Be free. Be free. It's the only way to be. He's not only an example that we should follow, he's not only the price that was paid, but he is the King who is bringing his kingdom, and he has started already. He started more than 2,000 years ago, and the foundations have been laid. And understanding the currency of that kingdom is understanding the Messiah. Is the gatekeeper of that kingdom is not only the one that paid the price. So it's an amazing thing to think that there is a kingdom that has been predestined before everything existed. And the Creator only wishes to share it with men. There is a way to get into the kingdom, but it's impossible to get through it while holding on to this world. There's so much to hold on to, but there's nothing that lasts. Some people crumble and unfortunately take their own lives. And the person that's right next to them going through the same thing just goes through the whole ordeal glowing and come out stronger than ever before. And I think it has to do with that freedom from fear itself, not being afraid of uncertain times, complete freedom. You're not free unless you're completely free.